So I think we can start.
Yeah.
Hey guys, nice to see you here. This is a PragueJS element. It's fourth episode this year. I think that we're gonna have one more until the summer break. Then we will meet after summer. Maybe we can organize something different than this kind of action during the holiday. We'll see. Just follow us on Meetup and you can get the information. Our today's topic is some JavaScript APIs, like what new browsers offers to us. The first talk is provided by Kamil. Kamil is my colleague in Monster, and he's gonna tell us something about speech API, which is quite interesting. Unfortunately, as you will see, it's not fully supported yet, but if it is, then we can use it for some powerful tools. So I'll pass my work to Kamil.
Hey guys, so yeah, I'm Kamil Zenczykowski. I'm originally from Poland. I moved to Prague like 11 years ago and I decided that I would stay here for 1 year. Apparently it's 11 years already. And yeah, I joined Monster these days. I'm quite a longer while in this company. I quit company once, I rejoined, etc. So it's like longer story. But recently for the last few years I'm working with Filip. He's focusing more on front-end side, like more on coding side, and we are doing UX. And today, as Filip mentioned, we will talk a bit about few of web APIs. And this is the project which we did for Monster Hackathon last year. This was quite a successful project. I mean, we didn't win. There's a guy who won actually, but we had second place within our company. Probably, I mean, I guess you will understand why this project didn't win after the presentation, but yeah, let me start with this presentation. At any time, if you have some questions, feel free to interrupt me. I have no problem answering this. Filip will be supporting me, or rather, he will be core speaker about the technical aspects of this and those JavaScript details. I will just try to read this presentation. It's not important. I mean, it's tricky part with, not tricky part, interesting part is about, this is from 1961 when IBM apparently starts doing something with speech synthesizer. So this is when it starts with using computers. Of course, this is not, didn't start in 1961, it started earlier with some electromechanical speech synthesizers. So I think Bell presented this in about 1939, first speech synthesizer, but it was electromechanical, some gases put through tubes, etc. But this is where it started with computers. It was IBM, and since then it's evolving. It's evolving in I'm not sure if in good speed and pace. If you look at this, like we are 50 years later, and it's better, but you still can distinguish, you can still see differences. But what's interesting for us is that it's supported by browsers, so we can see this everywhere, and it's widely available for us. So this is why we are here today, to talk about possibilities of our browser, to talk, to listen, and hopefully understand. Yeah, topic is like this. It's introduction to web speech API. This API consists of two interfaces. One is for speech recognition, another is for speech synthesizer. And we will try to present both. If we will have enough time, and if everything will go fine, we will show you small bombs not really related. Well, it related not to web speech API, but to web audio API. So on one hand, we have something what we heard on the very beginning. It's speech synthesizes interface. It's part of web speech API, and it's relatively simple API. We have set of methods like speak, cancel, pause, resume, get voices. We have speech synthesizes utterance. So this is where we are defining what we are expecting from browser to say in what language, with what voice, what volume, pitch, speed, etc. So thanks to this, we can control this. And I'm not sure if you are familiar, but recently it's improved, and I would say that it's Chrome recently is doing this pretty well. So this is on one hand we have synthesizers. On another hand, we have speech recognition interface. So when someone is talking to our browser, of course we need to get this audio stream, but when we get it, we can recognize this. We can use specific grammars, as you see. We can use external services to support our recognition. So it's built in. However, we can tweak this and we can do more with this. So when we are talking about this, we can see that this interface, like voice interface, is getting bigger popularity. We see this in Google Assistant. We can see Echo, Echo Show, I think, or something like this. This is new device from Amazon in Talk.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. We can see this in pop culture. This is screen from the movie Hair when a guy had this earplug. And he was able to talk to, I think, Samantha. Maybe it wasn't a perfect movie, but it was pretty interesting in terms of how people will communicate with technology, and how this technology can cooperate with them and can be helpful. And this is like those few minutes of introduction, and I think now we can show what we have in terms of them. Okay, it seems quite empty. However, we have this small guy here. It's almost. And this is concept of small chatbot. So this is what we did on Hackathon. We code chatbot with using of Microsoft LUIS technology for speech, cognitive approach to speech and recognizing phrases and understanding what we are trying to say. But what's more important here on JavaScript end, we are using web speech API. One is to produce sound, and another part is to understand it. So hopefully it will work. Let's try. Hi.
Nice to meet you. I'm Monster JobBot at your service.
What can I do here?
Here's what I can do. Press this to find out jobs you might be interested in. Just say what you are looking for, maybe where and what company you like, and I will find jobs for you. Just use the natural language as used when you talk to a friend or colleague.
This is actually interesting. I didn't plan this, but yes, as you see, he misunderstands me. So even if he understands something different than I thought, thanks to LUIS, he matched this to proper more or less action. So this is a nice example that you can see that it's not specific phrase. So those specific phrases are not our key phrases which are triggering this, but it's more flexible, and it's allowing us to solve the problem like special triggering phrases. Okay, let me try to ask something else. I'm looking for a candidate.
Seems like you are looking to hire someone. Please take a look at http://hiring.monster.com how we can help you.
Don't look at this. It's not really important what's going on here, but as you see, for different phrases, it matches to different action. At the same time, it parses these URLs. This is why this page is displayed in the background. So let me try a few more. Maybe not few. Okay. I'm looking for a dentist job. No,
we have 114,288 jobs in our database. Strong greater than strong. Job problem to be less than strong greater than is looking for medical assistant to open internal medical.
Thank you, Monster. You're very helpful. Okay, let's try. I'm looking for a dentist job. Yeah, we have medical assistant action. I guess supposed to be close enough to dentist. Doesn't matter. It's just it's failing. This code we prepared a year ago. We didn't touch it for this presentation. We just hope that it will work. As you see, sometimes it works, sometimes it not. It doesn't. Key part of this is not Louis. This is not this artificial intelligence aspect. Key part is possibility to listen to me, understand me. We have special, like some kind of echo here. So maybe this is why it has troubles with understanding my English. It's not perfect at all. There are issues. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. So I'm happy to answer questions. Maybe Filip wants to show some code.
Yes, if you have some questions now, otherwise I'll show you the source code. So in Rapid Science, we had 2 days in a team of 3 people, and we didn't know anything about it before we started. So one guy, Kamil, spent the 2 days working with Louis, just trying to resurrect it. Trying to teach it some sentences. Maybe Kamil can answer some questions about Louis and how it works. But the core, the reason why we are here is JavaScript, so I'll just show you how to work with the speech API. Okay.
Guys. I just would like to ask, what is the result should be? Like they should show the result on the page, some kind of to link to the website, or it's only should be answered inside of the box?
Yes, so initial concept was that when you will get this result in this chatbot window, then it will parse ID of the specific job, and then will display as a whole page in the background. So thanks to this, you could communicate, you can talk to the bot in a way that show me next job, show me previous one, etc. So idea is that this guy will be sitting in the bottom right corner, and the page itself will be reloading jobs.
Based on the conversation.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's still an experimental, as the Chrome is the only browser at the moment with nice support. The other browsers have the speech synthesizers as well, but the English is not as nice as what Chrome has, and there are too many voices. Chrome has about 15 voices maybe. Unfortunately, Czech is not there yet. There are some other projects, but it's not native browser supported. You can use some JavaScript synthesizer as well. We have that in our links at the end of the presentation, so if you'd like to have a look, it's there. However, if you synthesize it by JavaScript, it's much better than native browser support. So,
Actually, you didn't hack Google Translator at the API with
yeah.
yes,
Well, we were thinking about using the translator API. The new translator works really well, so if we can talk in Czech and it understands us in Czech, then it can translate it quite well to English, ask Luis for some reasonable response, and then we can translate it back to Czech and answer in Czech. Unfortunately, there is no Czech synthesizer, so if British synthesizer speaks in Czech, then it doesn't sound really
Probably we wouldn't need to do this double translation because Luis is supporting multiple languages.
I don't know if there is a support for Czech language as well.
Oh, okay, multiple languages, yes.
Definitely some more common languages like Spanish, German, French would be okay and you can use it. However, the speech recognition is even less supported than the synthesizer, so I think that there are only few browsers in the world at the moment which supports that, and that's what's stopping us from using this in a real production concept. So,
just maybe one note, it seems to me that Google recently published the API for recognition.
yeah, but
you have to pay, but you can use it officially.
you can't use what browser natively supports. You have to call some external service, and if there is a bigger load, you have to pay for it, obviously. So, yeah, the concept is there, and you can use even that API.
Do you get inspiration from Valve for your application? Because it's like similar concept. You know,
No?
when you chat from Google, and you can, there is a bot that understand things and is able to search for you.
Well, this example, this hackathon was about just leveraging some APIs or some technologies which are already there, and we didn't play with that before, so it's why we had that just to try something new. And yeah, it's just that we wanted to try something what should be standard. Unfortunately, it's not at the moment. It's defined in some W3.
It is W3C organization defined this as official APIs. Well, I think those are not official, those are actually unofficial at this moment, but it's there.
Is there a way to improve reliability of the recognition by providing the gender or things like that?
Gender of speaker, you mean? I haven't seen this one. I mean, definitely you can provide what let's say English accent you are using, if it's US accent or if it's British accent, for example. However, I didn't notice any things like by gender or by age or something like that. It's interesting.
You know how to magnify it? So, yeah. As you can see, we have just static voice there, which is just in Chrome. This voice is not anywhere else. However, different browsers have different voices. There is some default voice you can use, but it's not really nice at the moment. And then there is just few things to do to start using the synthesizer. The synthesizer is quite simple. So I have a talk function here. It creates a new instance of speech synthesizer utterance. You just pass there a text, which is our message. You just set some attributes like volume, rate, and pitch. Then you can choose from the list of the voices. I have a small function here. We just select the voice from the list by my selection from the command. You can leave the user to select his own favorite, and then
It's quite challenging to navigate this in this pose.
And then you can see that there is one more function because without calling get voices before or after the speech synthesizers is initialized, then the first sentence was said in the default voice. So this is just like how to go around this. So this is all you need. You don't need any library to use it. This is all the code for the synthesizer. Then there is a second part, which is the recognition part. It's a bit more complicated here because the API is more difficult to control. So I found something called PragueJS, which just prepares a constructor for you which you can easily use. So you can basically write it by your own bar. This helps you to avoid some boilerplate code. So basically, I just initialize a new instance of speech, then I just find some events like what should be done on start, on end, on error, during we are talking, and after the final result. Basically, the final result is filed when there is no sound for some small piece of time. So I don't know if it's 1 second or something like that. Then it stops, and
maybe one note here regarding errors. There is quite interesting set of errors which is returned by this web speech API. Because it's not only like here, but for example, it can return error like that you use improper grammar. So in my case, probably it would happen quite often. It can say that it was not able to recognize your language as well. So it's not only like those standard errors which we get used to, but those are kind of interesting, which can also give us some interesting feedback from time to time.
And what the final result does, it basically just submits the form, and I have a listener on that form which just calls the synthesizer for the answer. So basically, this is for our input. There is a set timeout just to delay for a little while, otherwise it's gonna be too fast and it's not gonna be natural enough. So this is just basically help.
The browser listen. I don't see any start listen method in the script. So does the browser listen all the time? No,
it doesn't. As you could see, Kamil had to click the icon of microphone, and this means that the recording is started.
So this microphone is native.
Type for the input?
Sorry?
HTML input.
Yeah, it's.
Is a special type or?
No, it's not. It's not. We just used a checkbox. So when it's checked, it's listening. When it's not, it doesn't. So that's it. You can buy it.
And I think it's listening only to microphone. I think you cannot point any other audio stream directly to this.
It's actually.
You can do this. You could do this with Web Audio API, when you can open specific audio stream and then lead whatever you want. But in this case, I think it's just based on a mic.
So we have this voice control, which is just the checkbox, which is a hidden checkbox. I have a label as a button, so if I click it, the checkbox is checked, and I have this event listener on change of this, and if it's checked, then the recognizer starts. That's it. And if it's unchecked, it stops. That's how it works. it also stops automatically when you stop talking. So, that's it.
In Windows 10, you basically, when you install Windows, you basically disable everything, microphone location, everything, people are there, you know, and if the browser can recognize if the microphone is enabled or disabled.
It actually asks you every time you refresh the page. Unfortunately, it always asks you the question whether this page can use your microphone. I think that it's possible in settings to let every page use your microphone, but no one will probably ever do that. So I think that it's possible to set it for a particular page. So maybe at some point you will just say that, hey, this page is trusted, it can use my microphone all the time. At the moment, it's not like that. You have to manually enter this page to the setting, or you have always clicked to allow on the microphone.
I think by default it's assuming that you are not alone. So this is why it's throwing all those requests for this pop-up in top left corner. Usually, are you allowing to use microphone or webcam, etc. So this.
And the final part, which is this small application, is what's going on when you submit the form. It just prevents the default, so the page is not loaded, and then it sends the message, I'm gonna go into the chat.js because it's simple manipulation, and you can check it on my GitHub if you want. And then it calls the communicate, which is coming from the AI, and that's only the connector to the LUIS service through some API. So there is an endpoint, you send a JSON format there, this text with your message, and you receive a JSON with some response, and you can work with it. And I think that's it. You can see that I passed it, and then I call the bot says, and yeah, if there is nothing, the bot says, I'm sorry.
I would like to steal 5 more minutes of your time and go back to this presentation for
Yeah, definitely. This is from the point of view. If you have more questions, feel free to fetch me later to ask me.
Okay. I promised the bonus, so there will be bonus. It won't be so technical, it will be rather, I hope, inspirational concept. But what if we could control our web page elements, or maybe not only web page elements, but also real-world construction like this, like robotics, animatronics, with our Raspberry Pi, for example, etc. If we could control this by audio. So imagine that you have like talking heads to which talks in a way how this speech synthesizer is synthesizing audio. I think it's pretty interesting topic. I'm talking about this because I was working for 2 years in Dublin, company which was doing content for kindergarten for kids. And our content was cartoons, like animated movies. We did this in Flash, and we had problems that, it wasn't a problem, but it was kind of weird that all characters were blah blah blah, like doing movement of mouths like this. So if animator didn't sing this properly, if they didn't do lip syncing, it looked weird. So we had characters like just doing this strange move. However, we were thinking about this, and I will show you what we did. It's you will see, and it's 78.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
As you see here, you have two HTML elements with some CSS-driven animation, and this angle of movement of his jaw is controlled via audio stream, which is played from MP3. So thanks to this, there was no need for us to re-render all those animations and to create a real animation by designers, animators, etc. We could do something like this with proper skeletal animation, etc. It was pretty helpful for us. The character could dance in the rhythm of music, and yeah. I think it's quite interesting. If you think about this and connect this with your, I don't know, Raspberry Pi projects, with your servo mechanism, etc., I think it's pretty fun. And I wanted to show you one more thing here, and I will be done.
By the way, before Kamil finds it, we were looking for a way how to connect our speech synthesizer with that talking head. It would be nice if the bot can just open its mouth. Unfortunately, the speech synthesizer has no output which you can get as an input for the web audio, so you can't connect these two things together.
As you probably noticed, this is another the same technology, but in this case it's reading audio from mic. So it's using web audio API, and
So that's it.
yeah, it's me. I have good sometimes.
It's all of us.
And it's using Navigator API to get stream from the mic. So this is a different case than I think you were asking about what can be streamed for speech recognition. Those are different APIs, but I think it has potential. I'm sure.
Did you measure which latency is in here?
Sorry, say it again.
I see some latency. Would you measure it?
I didn't measure this. It's pretty fast. Yeah, it looks like some 20 milliseconds or something. Yeah. Just by my eye.
And there is some buffer which you have to fill before it does the rest of the. It's why there is
Which?
small latency.
Which API do you use for that?
This is web API, web audio API.
Web audio.
Yeah, and Navigator API to connect to this stream. Depends on MP3 in first case, and in second case it's Mac. The code for this now it's in subject, so that I don't want to even show you, but it will be later published to Filip's GitHub, so you will be able to follow it. So yeah, of course there must be a quote on every presentation, so I chose this one. I guess it might end up like this one day. Punch the robot or punch the talking machine to realize that this is machine. Probably we are not there yet. I hope it's good. You have set of links here. There's a link to Filip's GitHub. There is a link to MeSpeak library.
MeSpeak library is the one I mentioned. It's the JavaScript synthesizer. So it uses vanilla JavaScript just to synthesize the sound.
So even if browser do not support web speech, it will work for you.
Exactly, and you can connect this synthesizer with the talking heads actually, because it's audio.
Another one is Arteon. It's just kind of handy and quite well prepared wrapper for web speech API. You have small volume meter demo here, which is pretty the same like this talking head, but you can look into code how it works, and there are links to APIs. This is seen from Space Odyssey 2001 by Kubrick. I'm not sure if you noticed when at first I played this music, this Daisy lullaby. Actually, the same song was used by Kubrick in this movie at the end when Dave is killing the Hal. So it's I wanted to open and close this in the same mood. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Kamil. So I think 10 minutes break, and you can just eat the sandwiches, and after that we will continue with the second presentation.